the decades of the NBA's illustrious history that dates back to the 1940s, there have been many teams that have proved themselves to be considered great. These teams will be forever remembered, either for their dominance, their skill, or just the memorable way they racked up the games in the win column. Maybe some of these teams even showed all three of these traits. In this video, we're going to take a look at 10 of the best teams that ever graced the game, ending with the number 1 team in NBA history. First, the team that dominated the 60s. It's the Boston Celtics. And the season where they really hit their peak, 1964-65. Their record in this season was 62-18, and it was numbers like this that established the Celtics as the biggest franchise in NBA history. Led by head coach Red Auerbach, this team had NBA legends like center Bill Russell, shooting guard Sam Jones, and a young John Havlicek. A dominant regular season was taken into the playoffs, as they defeated the Philadelphia 76ers in the Eastern Division Finals, and went on to overturn Elgin Baylor and Jerry West's Los Angeles Lakers in the NBA Finals. This season in the middle of the decade represented a particular high point in the team's dominance of the sport at the time. Next up, at number 9, is the 91-92 Chicago Bulls. It wouldn't be a top 10 without a 90s Bulls team, and this is the first on our list. This was the season the Bulls proved that they were the team of the 90s, winning their second consecutive title. This team improved on the 1990-91 championship team by winning more games in the regular season and racking up a huge 82 wins over the course of the regular season and playoffs combined. What's particularly amazing about this season is despite their dominance, Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen were only going to get better in the future. At 8 is the 82-83 Philadelphia 76ers. A team that truly ran riot in the playoffs. The 76ers only lost one game post the regular season on their way to NBA glory. This team boasted 4 NBA All-Stars and is the only side ever to have 3 All-Star game starters from the same year in its ranks. Julius Erving and Maurice Cheeks were joined by Moses Malone to form a team that would dominate the regular season as well as the almost perfect playoff season run. Before we continue with our list, just a reminder to like this video and also to subscribe to Top 10 Sports for the very best countdowns in the world of sport. But for now, let's get back to the top 10 NBA teams in history. Next, at number 7 is the 84-85 LA Lakers. The Lakers managed something in this season that had never been done up to this point. They beat the Boston Celtics in the finals. This immensely talented team included 4 future Hall of Famers. This offensive beast of a team remained consistently dominant throughout the season by posting a 7.4 average point differential per game and scored at least 100 points in every playoff game they were part of. This team also still holds the record for the highest field goal shooting percentage for a season at .5448. Before we get to halftime on our list, let's look at another offering from the Chicago Bulls. This time the 96-97 team, and one that had peak Jordan with a very talented supporting cast. As well as Hall of Famers Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman, they were also joined by Ron Harper and Luke Longley, and had an impressive bench rotation that included Steve Kerr, Tony Kukoc, and Hall of Famer Robert Parrish. Jordan and Pippen continued to score in high volumes while distributing the ball. Kukoc was something a bit different as a tall jump shooter. As well as all this, Rodman was a rebound specialist. The team finished the regular season with 69 wins and went on to beat the Utah Jazz in one of the most memorable NBA finals in history. In at number 5 is the 1988-89 Detroit Pistons. This Pistons team wasn't the most popular team because of their physical style of play, but they were effective. Dennis Rodman, John Salley, and Bill Laimbeer provided a strong defense presence in the low post. Meanwhile, Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumars were great perimeter defenders. In fact, Dumars was widely known as one of the only players to be able to upset Michael Jordan's offensive game. On top of this, the Pistons had offensive threats as well. Thomas was a great passer. Dumas was an excellent clutch and perimeter scorer. Partner this with Lanebeer as an excellent three-point shooter, while Mark Aguirre also contributed to the scoreboard to make the Pistons a formidable outfit. At 4 is the 1985-86 Boston Celtics. We've already mentioned the Celtics team of the 60s, and they've had plenty of talented lineups down the years. This might well be the best they had to offer. The front court scoring combination of Larry Bird, Robert Parrish and Kevin McHale is one of the most effective of all time, and the backcourt included the legendary Bill Walton, who might have been at the end of his career but was still at the top of his game. The team were out to avenge a loss in the '85 finals they suffered to the LA Lakers, and they did that in style, by putting together a then record 82 combined wins in the regular season and playoffs. This squad had 5 future Hall of Famers on its roster, which helped it to a 40-1 record at home, which is still tied for the best home record ever. As we're about to hit our top 3, just a nudge to remind you to give us a thumbs up if you're liking the video, and also to subscribe to get notifications on the latest top 10 sports videos. Now, back to our 10 NBA teams. In at number 3 are the 71-72 Los Angeles Lakers. You only need to take one look at their roster to see what a threat this team were. They had offensive players such as Jerry West, Elgin Baylor, Wilt Chamberlain, Gail Goodrich, and Happy Heston. But this incarnation of the Lakers were also able to successfully distribute the ball to each other. This roster was able to put together a remarkable 33-game winning streak from November to January, which impressively is a record that still stands to this day. Not only that, but their 69-13 record was the best in league history for 24 seasons. It's often said that to be the best, you need to beat the best. And that was the case here, when they ended the season destroying a Hall of Famer-studded New York Knicks team, 4-1 in the NBA Finals. Before we get to the best team the NBA has ever seen, let's look at a side that narrowly got beaten to the crown. It's the 2016-17 Golden State Warriors. That season's Warriors were already blessed with the likes of arguably the greatest shooter of all time in Stephen Curry. But in 16-17, they were joined by Kevin Durant to make them almost unbeatable. A 16-1 playoff record demonstrated this, and their regular season numbers of 67-15 aren't too shabby either. This team clinched its playoff spot, the earliest that had ever been done, which is particularly good when you consider how much depth the Western Conference had. ESPN named them the greatest NBA team in history in 2018, but we're going to say that there's only one team that could better them. It's the third time we've seen them, but it's the Chicago Bulls, this time in its 95-96 season. A regular season tally of 72 wins sums up just how immense this team was. The previous season, Jordan was missing as he was pursuing his baseball career, but he returned, much to the delight of Bulls fans. However, he couldn't change their fortunes as they lost to Orlando Magic in the second round of the playoffs. So they had a point to prove entering the next season, and the title was only going to one city that year. Jordan sank clutch shots when needed in close games, which contributed to their astonishing record. Avenging the previous season's exit, the team cruised through the playoffs and beat Gary Payton's Seattle Supersonics to claim back the NBA title and cement their place as the ultimate NBA side. So these are the greatest sides the NBA has ever had the pleasure to witness. Do you agree with our list? What would you change? Let us know in the comments below, and remember to give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe if you want to see more great top 10 sports countdowns. Thanks for watching.